Hey guys, Momola here, and in today's video, I'm going to give you the three best niches for beginners. The reason why these three are my top picks from my own experience of failing tons of times and realizing that these three are probably the easiest to rank websites for affiliate and also informational posts. And I'm also going to give you real life data, real life examples of me going through Ahrefs, my SEO keyword tool, and showing you why these three niches are perfect for a beginner to come in and make some money online. Let's get into today's video. I think it's going to be a good one. So I've just popped into Google here and I have put in the keyword best niches for beginners, as you can see at the top here. Now, I guess I just wanted to see what Google would actually portray as the easiest and most profitable niches for beginners. So I'm going to click on the first link here. So as you can see, it's talking about the most profitable, but obviously I put beginner niches in, but let's go down and read it anyhow. So it's giving you some bullet points here of what the niches are. Let's take a quick look at them now. So digital marketing. So I can tell you right now, digital marketing is probably one of the most difficult niches to actually start up, let alone actually keep profitable in the short term. It's talking about blogging and making money online. Again, extremely competitive for obvious reasons, because if you're going to show people how to make money, then obviously the competition against that is going to be insane. It's mentioned health and fitness. Again, extremely competitive niche. And then, I mean, it's talking about personal finance investing. So I think the reason why I wanted to show you that is because you need to be careful sometimes on, I guess, the very quick summaries you get from Google, from blogs that are just giving you kind of generic information on broad niches. If you was to go through and probably set up any of these niches that they recommend, personal development, self-care, for example, it will take a long time to set up. I have a blog in one of these spaces, actually two of these spaces, and I can tell you from right now, it's a ton of work, and more importantly, it's a ton of money. So let's get into today's video. I'm going to give you the three top niches that I think is the most practical, probably most scalable for a beginner, and probably easiest to set up, and I'll give you all the information as well. So number one, and this is in no particular order, is the hobbyist niche. Now, as the name suggests, it literally is anything to do with hobbies. So think about gardening, fishing, drawing, hobbies for kids, anything that would constitute a hobby of what you do in your spare time. Now, I've just gone to Google and I've typed in hobbyist niche, so I can give you guys a few examples. Now, as you can see here, there's over 60 examples of what a hobby actually is. So dancing, gardening, etc., music. It's a very simple niche for anyone to set up because, of course, most people have general hobbies anyhow. It's also really cool because, as you'll see in a second, a lot of the keywords and the competition in the hobbyist niche isn't as high as other way more competitive niches. And importantly, you don't need a PhD or a degree or any type of expert status to say that you are eligible to write a blog around crafts, for example. So that's pretty cool. So let's take one of these hobbyist niches. Let's go for gardening, actually. Gardening is pretty cool. We're going to go over to the Google's Trends tool, okay? Trends.google.com. This is a really cool tool. It just essentially gives you the trends over a period of time for a specific country or subset of data. And you can see whether the particular keyword or topic is trending up or trending down. Gardening is pretty cool because, as you can see, it kind of spikes at different points, usually during the summer and spring times. So it's just peaking up now because we're kind of like in May and June here. But what I'm looking for is any red flags in terms of if the search volume of that particular keyword or topic is just trending down over time, because that's going to mean that if I do set up a blog, I may see a decline in traffic and search data in that area, and maybe I'd want to avoid that. Now, of course, when it comes to gardening, that is generally the top level keyword. If we're going to do any research and any analysis with this particular niche, we want to go through the sub-level and sub-topics. So think about things like herb gardening or indoor plants, or maybe garden Latining, or maybe something like a vertical gardening set, something in that range. All of those subtopics are going to be what would be more suitable for you to put into a SEO tool. So let's go over to that tool now and check it out. So I'm in Ahrefs right now. This is usually my tool that I use for doing all my keyword research. I usually do use a few other tools as well, but Ahrefs is where I tend to spend most of my time. I've added in plants into the search menu at the top, and I've hit search. Next, for us to actually find the low competition keywords, I'm going to add in the word count. So we'll add in something that has the word plant or plants in it that is between 7 and 9 words long. Hit apply, and then maybe change the keyword difficulty to like a low keyword, or maybe put 8 or something like that. So now it's going to obviously show me all the data for the search filters that we've added in. And we're looking for something to do in the plant space that is obviously directly related to gardening. Potentially we could put indoor gardening in. I like this one. Why is my aloe turning brown? And take a look at the search very quickly. And what I'm looking for is a subset of high volume keywords or generally high volume keywords that doesn't have extremely high competition against it, and something that I can probably rank for. So that, for example, this particular turning brown keyword is maybe a little bit too competitive. So I'm looking at the DR here. Let's continue to look down. Of course, keyword research will take a little bit of time, but we know that gardening is a pretty solid niche to get into. We also know that it trends up during summer and spring, so it's a little bit seasonal, but also there isn't as much competition for some types of keywords. So let's look at this one, plant with clusters of tiny flowers. Let's check out the SERPs. So again, this one still is a little bit competitive. So of course, when you're going through keyword research, you're going to have to probably go down lots of different subsets of keywords and silos. Let's see if we can actually look at a specific type of plant instead of plants in general. So this one's talking about a snake plant. We'll add that in. And again, we will add on the word count and maybe change the KD to 5. Okay, so this is looking more interesting now. So we've chosen gardening, we've chosen indoor plants, and we've also chosen a snake plant. So now we've filtered down between words that are over 7 in terms of their length. It's under 5 in terms of keyword difficulty, and hopefully, if we go through the SERP results now and we look at some of these keywords, we can potentially see that the competition isn't as high as it was before. And as you can see, generally the competition is a little bit lower. Look at some of the DR competitors against this keyword. And another keyword that is targeting a snake plant related query, again, low competition. So as you can see, that took just a few minutes for us to narrow down into a subsection within gardening and plants. If we was going to spend longer, we would obviously find tons more keywords with lots more low competition, potentially higher search volume, and we can set up a real content plan around these types of keywords. But I just want to show you a quick example of what this particular niche, the sub niche and sub silos look like in terms of how it looks in the actual search results themselves, and how very quickly you could scale up some type of gardening related website targeting low competition, medium search volume, but topically relevant keywords. So here are some pros and cons of the gardening niche in general. First off, as you've just seen, there's lots of juicy keywords. We just done like a really small subset. You could spend hours, days, potentially even weeks going through the gardening research, and you'd find a ton of keywords that are low competition and you can rank for. Next, anyone can do it. Most people have a garden. You can literally pop outside into a garden, take pictures. If you are already a garden expert or enthusiast, it's even easier. And importantly, also in the gardening space, generally, most of the items, if you are going to set up an affiliate or commercial post, are quite cheap for you to actually buy yourself and potentially review. So it generally keeps your costs down if you're looking to scale your blog over affiliate posts. Now, of course, we have to talk about cons as well. Probably the biggest con of the gardening space in general is that it is seasonal. So during the spring and summer months, you're going to see really big spikes of traffic. And then during the winter months, that traffic is going to probably just evaporate. So you have to find a way to keep it evergreen by maybe adding some type of winter element to it. So maybe winter plants or plants that can survive in the cold, etc. Also, another thing to note is that some of the items in the gardening space are low ticket. So on the front side, you can buy them to review. On the back side, if you are going to get commissions and affiliate sales from them, those are going to be generally lower as well. Okay, so the next niche that I think is just ideal for beginners, for a variety of reasons, is the horoscope and astronomy niche. Now, you're probably thinking, hey Mo, no idea what that is. But if you have heard of it before, it relates to stars, planets, and alignments, and correlates to your personality, your character traits, and your compatibilities. Now, funnily enough, this niche is actually a really big niche in terms of search volume. I'll show you some data in a second. But of course, if you're still unsure, just feel free to pop over to Google, type in what is astronomy, and you'll get lots of information. Now, I've typed this into Google Trends tool just for you to see the trends over time. And as you can see, generally, it's quite evergreen. There are spikes usually at the end of the year. But overall, it's not declining. It's staying stable, potentially even increasing. And even things like your zodiac signs or your personality traits, your horoscope, etc., those trends seem to be on the way up as well, which for us is fantastic. Let's pop over to Ahrefs. I'm going to show you some of the search data. Just in case you're still thinking, hey, I'm probably not going to be interested in that one. Let's check out the search data and also the competition. So as you can see, we popped into Ahrefs here. I'm going to put in the keyword at the top, and I'm going to add a word count in of 7. So anything that has the word astrology in, that's over 7 words. Let's maybe put the KD down to 10 as well. And apply. So as you can see, these are all keywords in the astronomy space with the word astronomy in it. Let's take a look at some of these in terms of their competition. And again, this is only really the first level of our research. We're going to continue to go down every single time we go down into a sub-silo. Technically, we should get better keywords and it should be less competitive. So stick with me. So generally, this one looks a little bit competitive. I'm looking at the competition on the right-hand side here. So as you can see, the DR, which means the domain rating, the higher that is, the more established the site is, and probably the lower the chance of us being able to outrank them. Let's continue to take a look. Okay, so I think I saw something about aims and numbers here. One thing I was going to mention is if you look on the side here, you can find the groups of terms. So you can type in there's meaning here. There's something to do with eye here. There's female, there's twitching, etc. So we can put those the groups in, and it will give us a group based on the meaning. So if we went through these keywords, it's still filtered by 7 of the word count and also 10 under KD. So that's keyword difficulty. And we just open up some of these to see what they look like in terms of the SERPs. And generally what we're looking for is something that has low competition, but also high search volume. Which these ones, they still look a little bit high in terms of competition. I do like the long tail keyword, that's pretty cool. Also, when you're looking at competitive search, you want to make sure that the search intent matches what Google's actually displaying. If it doesn't, that could be a good sign for you to actually rank a post. We'll type in spiritual meaning, see if that makes a difference. And also we will reduce the KD to 10. Now remember, this is all part of the keyword research process, and usually for me it's going to take at the very least 4 to 5 days if I'm going to actually build out a content plan, a small one, and a lot longer, weeks, if I'm going to build out a bigger plan. But generally I found in this niche, if you build out a really good content plan and you do your keyword research correctly, you can put out some really cool gems in terms of keyword research. So let's take a look at some of these spiritual meaning keywords and see what the search volume looks like. So as you can see, the keyword competition is slowly coming down a little bit. There are a few that are under 10 DR, which is fantastic. This one's at 12. And also what you do is you take some of these lower competition, put them back into Ahrefs or any SEO tool, and then re-engineer some of their keywords to see which ones are doing the best, and then continue to do that. It's a really smart strategy to kind of obtain keywords from your competitors. So as you can see, if we continue to go on this list, the search volume is a little bit lower now in terms of 1,000. The keyword difficulty is 1, so you definitely can rank for it. And some of the competition is now under 30. There's 27, there's 10, there's 8 in terms of domain rating. So with the right content plan and also a small emphasis on backlinks, you should be able to at least compete in the top 10. And of course, the lower you go down in terms of search volume and also keyword difficulty, the easier it's going to be for you to rank. So for this particular keyword, pigeon spiritual meaning, I think there's at least there's 3 that are 10 and under, which is fantastic. So even with a really small backlink budget, or even if you build and buy on an expired domain, you still can very easily outrank some of your competition. And again, the more keyword research you do, the better keywords you're going to find. Now, of course, in the astrology niche, there are tons of sub niches. So you have numerology, you have psychic reading, you have tarot cards. There's so many different varieties of personality related search queries. I do think with just a small amount of research in terms of going through Ahrefs or going through Google or going through any keyword tool, you should be able to pull out some really good gems. Now, pros and cons of this particular niche for me is, first of all, the pros is they have fantastic juicy keywords with lots of search volume and generally low competition. And also you don't need any type of qualification to say that you're an astrology expert or maybe a psychic reader, etc. As long as you have the credentials and also the content and that's really well written and in depth, that will be more than enough. Now the cons is, first of all, most people may not have any idea or passion in this particular space. Also, as you saw there are some bigger competitions that take up lots of the bigger keywords, which is, again, not too bad because obviously you can focus on the lower competition keywords. And lastly, there may not be as many affiliate opportunities as there will be, for example, in the fitness, dietary or supplement space. So those are a few things to bear in mind. Now, the last niche that I'd recommend that's perfect for beginners is going to be the pet space. I probably won't go in as much detail with this particular niche because I'm trying to keep the video a little bit short. But of course, people spend billions of pounds on their pets every single year across the world. Generally, dogs and cats are the most popular, but I wouldn't recommend starting up a site in those particular categories just because of the competition. But in particular, think smaller pets, so maybe guinea pigs, rabbits, ferrets, etc. Those keywords are a lot easier to rank for. And also the competition is quite a lot lower. And lastly, you still have lots of affiliate opportunities. So think Amazon affiliate, think Chewy, which is an all pet affiliate program. And there are other tons of affiliate programs that's specifically for pets. Now, just a side note, there is actually a really good sub-silo in the pet space under birds, and in particular listicles. So think about the best white birds in California, or black and brown birds in Kentucky, etc. I could probably do a whole video just going through keyword research in that particular silo. If you're interested, let me know in the comments below and I'll film it. But anyhow, for now, hopefully that's been a insightful video for you. If you are a beginner and you're just starting up, generally you want to go for niches that are in lower competition, but still have juicy keywords that you can get lots of traffic. Anyhow, hope that's been insightful. Take care, I'll see you in the next one.